So what do I want you to check for equipment security? I want you to check your hand tools. I mean, things like B&Gs and gas cans and small stuff and backpacks, okay? Those are things I think the tech should be checking every day. The bigger stuff like toolboxes, tank straps, skid sprayers, I think that's the company's responsibility, and they need to be checked maybe quarterly when you get the oil changed, or annually something. I don't think a tech needs to be getting under a truck every day to be checking to see whether the skid sprayer is attached, but someone needs to do that. So here's an example of small tools that are secured. There's a B&G in a security rack, and there's a Birchmeier backpack in a security rack, so that if this person does get in an accident, it's not going to go flying, okay? But here's some other examples. This is a Honda engine with a pump. It's what we call motor mount assembly. And this got brought in for service. And got brought in for us to service the pump, but our technicians saw that there's a problem. The motor mount wasn't attached very well. It was attached with like one or two very loose bolts on one side, okay? And this is a big company, you would know. They have their own full-time mechanic, and this still happens. And my concern is, what happens if this truck gets in an accident? Is that going to hold? I don't know, but it's too much. It's not worth the risk to find out, okay? This assembly with a steel plate and a pump and a motor has got to weigh 50 or 60 pounds. It's got to. And if it comes loose, does it go flying? Does it just damage? Does it leak gas? I don't know what happens, but this is, to me, an unacceptable risk. We should not be assuming this kind of risk, and you need to be checking your equipment for this kind of thing. Here's another one. This was a toolbox on a sprayer that was brought in for service, and we noticed that the bottom was rusting out of the bottom of the toolbox, okay? So when you bolt your toolbox down in your truck, everything's fine, but after 5 years or 10 years, if it's metal or plastic or fiberglass, the material around that bolt can disintegrate, and again, it may be fine under normal conditions, but if you get in an accident, this is not going to hold. Here's another. This is the scariest one. This was a customer brought in a 100-gallon sprayer and said, I want to switch the sprayer from my old truck to my new truck. So we got a guy under the truck so we could take the bolts out, and what we saw was there was these 3 bolts completely rusted out, no nuts. So this guy's driving around Arizona, our town, with a 100-gallon sprayer that's not attached, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but my daughter's driving in this town, and my wife's driving in this town. This scares the hell out of me. And just think about that. If he had been in an accident, I'm not trying to create a nightmare scenario, but if this is your company and this happens to you, you're going to have a problem. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully I'm getting some